Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn about time. What are we going to study in this module? Why is time important to us? Difference between an analog and a digital clock. We will also learn about hands in a clock, and we are going to do some practice exercise. Used to talk about our daily life, our daily routines. Time management is a part of our daily routine. Clocks, watches are tools that measure time. So we can use clocks also, we can use watches also to measure time. Now let us study about analog clock. So this is an analog clock, and this is what the face of an analog clock looks. So the numbers written are 1, 2, 3, 4 till 12. So these numbers round face are hours. There are 12 hours marked on this clock. Now time on a digital clock. Let us read about digital clock now. Digital clocks tell time with numbers. First, they tell the hour, then they tell the minutes. This clock reads 8 o'clock. Reading the clock. So what are we going to read now? The hour hand and a minute hand in a clock. The small hand, which is red in color here and it is pointing at 3, and the bigger hand, which is purple in color and that is pointing at 12. So the small hand shows hours and the bigger hand shows minutes. So when the big hand points to 12, the time is o'clock. In this case, the time is 3 o'clock. Now let us study some clocks and try to read the time shown in the clock. Now in this case, the small hand is pointing at 3 and the big hand is pointing at 12. So when the minute hand, that is green in color, which is a bigger hand here, is pointing at 12, we read it as o'clock. Now in this case, the hour hand is pointing at 3, so the time shown here is 3 o'clock. In this case, bigger hand, which is green in color, and we all know that it is a minute hand. And the small hand, which is red in color, we know that it shows hours. So small hand is at 5, bigger hand is at 12. So we read the time as 5 o'clock. Okay, some practice exercises for you. What time is it? Okay, now small hand is at 1, big hand is at 12. So what time it is in this clock? It is o'clock. Now in this one, both the hands are pointing at 12. Small hand also, big hand also. So when both the hands are pointing at the same number 12, we read the time as 12 o'clock. Okay, this is again an analog clock and the numbers written here are showing hours. So 1, 2, 3, 4 till 12, these are hours in the clock. Now let us find out some missing numbers here. Some numbers are missing in this analog clock. After 11 a number is missing, after 3 number is missing, after 5 and then after 8. So let us try to find out what numbers are missing here. Okay, so these numbers are missing 12, 4, 6 and 9. Very nice, you have found out what numbers were missing here. Now let me share smart work with everyone and then we are going to do relation between time units. We will be taking up 3 relations: minutes and seconds, hours and minutes, and then days into hours. So let us take up the first relation of minute and second. All know that 1 minute equal to, of course, 1 minute gives 60 seconds. So if I have to find out how many seconds are there in 2 minutes, what are we going to do? You write 2 multiplied with 60, which is going to give you 120 seconds. Suppose I have to find out how many seconds are there in 5 minutes. So we'll write 5 multiplied with 60, which is going to give you 300 seconds. So similarly, you can find out for 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, you simply have to multiply the number with 60. So this was a relation between minutes and seconds. Now let us take up second relation. Now what are we going to do? We are going to find the relation between hours and minutes. That is, I have to convert hours into minutes now. So let us take up a simple example. 1 hour, we know that 1 hour is equal to 6. Remember this, 1 hour has 60 minutes. So I have to calculate for 2 hours. To do is, I'll write 2 multiplied with 60, which is going to give me 120 minutes. Okay, 1 hour equal to 60 minutes. So 2 hours will be 2 multiplied by 60, that is 120 minutes. If I have to calculate for 3 hours, then 3 multiplied with 60, that is going to give me 180 minutes. So this was the second relation between time units. The first one was minutes and seconds. This one was hours and minutes. Now let us do third relation. Now the third relation is between days and hours. We know that A is equal to 20. One day has 24 hours. If I have to find out how many hours are there in 2 days, what I'm going to do is I write 2 multiplied with 24, and then after multiplication I'm going to get 48 hours. 1 day 24 hours, so 2 days will be 2 multiplied with 24, that is going to give you 48 hours. Similarly, if I have to find out how many hours are there in 3 days, I'll write 3 multiplied with 24, that is going to give me 72 hours. So this was relation between time units. We have done 3 relations. We have taken up minutes into seconds, hours into minutes, and days into hours. So this is all about time. I hope everybody has learned relations, different hands, and do remember that beautiful cuckoo song also, which was showing you the relationship between hands, big hand and small hand. Thank you everyone.